Alright, we're back on the rank grind here. We're kind of in limbo waiting for the Through the Omen Path Spider-Man set to come out. We are missing white here, and we do get turn 1 Fortsies, which is always unfortunate. Now if our opponent checks hands here, they should take the Biotech. They take the Vanishing Verse. Oh, but we do top deck white, so we're okay. I'm going to play out the Stomping Grounds, playing towards a Biotech, and we get a... yeah, we get another Fortsies. There's a Blade of the Oni, so we are clearly up against Rakdos, well, Mono Black or Rakdos Demons. Go down to 15, instep, we'll Rakshas's Bargain. Bring to Light, and I'm going to take another land here. I don't think there's anything desperately I want to take out of their deck here. I'm going to hold back this Normalize if they draw the miraculous like 5th Fortsies. I want to make sure I can counter it. Let's stop their card advantage and establish our own here. So we go for a 5 color Bring to Light. We'll grab our Niv, because of course we do. Reload! 4 cards. Yeah, let's get rid of the tap land here. Biotech's a solid answer. They're definitely holding room. Oh, there's the Annex. So we are going to lose some life here. Right, Annex is gone. First priority is we pulse the room so they don't get card advantage. Then I think we'll play a land untapped. We're going for damage here. We can here go for Tyrant Scorn, Helix, Normalize, whatever we need to based on whatever they play. There's a fear of missing out. I'm not too concerned. That's not one I think we're going to fight over. They don't have Delirium yet, but I am going to Tyrant Scorn the Blade of the Oni here. Oh, now they have Delirium, so now we have to answer it. So let's Lightning Helix that. Also buffs our life total, so 8 is pretty solid. I'm going to play a land tapped. I'm not going to deploy Biotech here, I'm going to hold the counterspell. And our opponent concedes, yeah. So basically the reason we're holding the counterspell is there is I could have deployed potentially the Biotech, but I think the better option there is just present more interaction. Honestly, this deck, since they dropped the Archfiend of Dross, the best big demon they can do that can fly is the Room Demon. So, like I said, it's always better to just go with that advantage. Okay, this hand. Yeah, we can't mulligan versus a Fortsies deck. Interesting. They seem to be not have a turn 1 Fortsies. They must have a turn... okay, the Blood Tithe. I think we're going to get down the Biotech here. We'll either bait removal or they'll deploy their what's it called, their Room. No, they have a Fable, which is interesting. So I think our best bet here is going to be to use this, and we'll hold back. I'm considering what to do here. I'm going to go over Colligan's Command, make them discard and kill the token. We could kill the Blood Tithe, but honestly I'm more concerned about the treasure generation. Their big killer decks are on 4, like a Shieldred there. I'm going to let this through. Like I said, they could have Edict effects, so buffing out our creature count's pretty solid against them. Our opponent. K command to kill the lander token. Interesting play. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to do with that, so we'll let that go. They get back the option, so we'll go with Vanishing Verse here. Oh, we need blue mana. That's why I'm being so cagey with the Izzet Charms. There's a Fortsies. They take the 1 spell we can cast. They play the Blade of the Oni. We draw a Bring to Light, which is pretty good. I'm gonna... oh, why did we cycle there? I really needed blue mana, I think. But we were just dead to their board, actually, because they had 6 power. That's why I cycled. Duh. Check your life total. Right. Oh, we have to mulligan here. That's bad. Alright, we don't have green. I'm going to get rid of the basic blue because we have so much blue. I'm going to play with Xander's Lounge because that covers the best spread of spells we could cast. There's a Duress. Takes our Ancient Cornucopia, and of course we top deck a green source right after that. There's Fortsies. getting to the point where I am genuinely considering the sideboard tech of just being 4 Leyline of Sanctities for demon decks, because 8 1 mana take away your spell cards is pretty ridiculous. Alright, I'm going to pass back here. We could Vraska here to get it back. They get a Fable. I'm going to Cosmic Rebirth. I'm going to get the Vraska back here. And I'm going to Tyrant Scorn the token. Oh, we top deck a Bring to Light. That's absolutely perfect. So, yep, it is time. We got stripped away with... Reload! We got stripped away with a lot of things there, but we got to use the reload here. The Vraska has not been a great experiment here because it turns out a lot of our removal is exile based. So, we don't get as much triggers as I want. I mean, I have had a few games, particularly against Rakdos decks, where I have been able to take out the big threat. Alright, so Vraska's down. I think we'll deploy the Joshua. And I'm going to get rid of this biotech. There's our second Niv Mizzet, which is perfect. Right, so we can hold the Izzet Charm for either counterspell interaction, a Vanishing Verse for anything along the way of taking out, what's it called? The Shieldred, which would be the thing I'm scared of here. Let's see what they go for with their interaction. Oh, they just play another Fable. I'm going to actually make you put 2 more into this, see how much they want it. They want it for their entire hand. Okay, so I'm going to swing in. Are they going to block? No blocks. Interesting. 4 life. I'm going to use the reload here. Reload! If we can find burn, which we did in the form of a biotech and a K command, we have enough here. So they have to answer our entire board. And then take out, disrupt our hand, which Rakdos is efficient, but I don't think they can be that efficient. Opponent seems to be assessing their lines here. Ritual Chamber makes them a 6/6. We'll block the 2/2. They've probably got a push. Alright. So let's biotech. Make a lander token, another biotech, make another lander token, pop a lander token, and take him out with the biotech. Good game. Okay, we got a blast from the past here. This is Boros Convoke with, I believe it's Grand Zenith from the Age of Eternities. This is a deck that, good lord, I have not played against for a while here. So I was very unprepared. I kept a very slow hand here, and as you see, Gleeful Demolition makes a ton of tokens, makes a Knight Errant, draws them 2 more cards. There's a Zenith. We don't get our land, so fortunately, yeah, I kept a hand, and I broke a fundamental rule of Magic. I thought, as long as I draw X, I'll be okay. So, removal and board wipes come in. We'll take out a couple of counters. Take out the Valky because it's a long game, and we'll take out a Rakshasha and the Niv Mizzet Supreme. As I said, this deck is explosive, and double board wipe seems brilliant here, but unfortunately, you'll see here, the resilience of this deck is truly astounding. So I actually just go straight to removal because I'm playing this like I play against tribal decks. You have to hit them with whatever you can. So I forget to play red here, so I can't deploy my Joshua for the blocks. Fortunately, they go for a tap out Convoke here, pump all their board, make another token. Right, on my turn, I Supreme Verdict. Should have been a Culling Ritual there. 100% should have been the Culling Ritual. That's a misplay on my part. The Culling Ritual would then give us enough mana to use the Rakshasha's Bargain, which could have then set us up through this land pocket that we're facing. So they crack a clue, sheltered by ghosts, so you have to pump that. Right, play the Cornucopia, shock in, play the Culling Ritual, so get back Joshua to hold as a blocker. Yeah, such a bad play on my part. I leapt to the actual... Ooh, double Zenith. Yeah, we should have 100% held that board wipe for this situation. And our opponent explodes off. This Clarion might not do enough. So, let's Cornucopia, 4 lands, so yeah. Alright, we can take out a few things here, swing in, play a land, and yeah. We had 3 board wipes there, but as I said, that doesn't always guarantee victory because, as I said, this was me completely screwing up the orders here. We go down to 1, we draw a push, so we'll just cycle a card here. Cornucopia can get back a land, that's not going to survive us, so good game. And another argument for Culling Ritual in the main. Alright, Rakdos Demons once more. So, we get the play here, and I like this hand. We are missing white mana, which is unfortunate, but actually it's pretty terrible, because... Alright, so I suppose, in my defense, I didn't know what I was up against at this point, so I was thinking to myself, we'll be good for a bit. Then we see Rakdos. Fortunately, we don't see an immediate forties here. Also, this guy seems to be playing insanely slow, so I'll throw out this Vraska. For those of you unaware, I record the audio for these at ×2 speed, post commentary. So yeah, they're really taking their time here. Alright, we get hit with the Cornucopia. Alright. I'm sorry, not Cornucopia. We get hit with the Blood Tithe. I'm wishing for a Cornucopia. There's a Shieldred. So, let's return Vraska and kill the Blood Tithe so we don't take any more damage than we have to. Right, we'll shock in and Vanishing Verse the Shieldred, and then we'll redeploy the Vraska here. If we can bait out, we're also just... Ooh, there's another Shieldred. Okay. Then we gotta just deploy Niv-Mizzet Supreme and swing in. See if they want to trade. They don't. If they swing in with Shieldred here, we can get a Vraska trigger off them. Plus as well, Niv-Mizzet Supreme, the protection from mono-colored is getting ridiculous right now. A lot of these mono-black or Rakdos decks have cut their Liliana and their Shieldred's Edicts. So, like, they are struggling to deal with this. Alright, there's an Annex. Are you going to attack? No, they go for Fortsies. That's fine. We can jumpstart that spell in the graveyard anyway. So, we Vanishing Verse. I'm going to take out this on the upkeep, so you don't take damage from the card draw. Right, this land is perfect because it translates as either of these 2 spells that we've got. If they don't deploy a demon, they go... Oh, there's an Abrade. Okay. Again, another spell that can't kill, and they concede. I think we just run it back. We are spec'd for this deck. This deck, though, really does need some jank up stuff. But I just don't want to tinker with it before the Omen Paths comes out, / Spider-Man. It's so weird that we have to say one or the other. But genuinely, one of the biggest pet peeves that I personally have with that set, and it's like a yelling at clouds thing. Why were none of the Omen Path cards unified? For example, we have in the Spider-Man set Spider-Man Ben Reilly, or Spider-Woman, or Spider-Girl May Parker. All this through the Omen Path sets are Character X and Character Y. Character X and Character Y. Like, there is a whole subset in that through the Omen Paths of dudes and chicks riding Spider Knights. Like, so you couldn't have come up with something like Arachno Order or the Order of 8 or something, you know, to like just do something. Alright, so this deck, they go in with the Ghost Vacuum, clearly looking to get rid of our graveyard effects, which is going to be pretty problematic here because, you know, the Law of Sods will come into play here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy the Biotech, because all the killing of it's fine, because it's not a full end of the deck for us. Ultimately, what we just want to do is, these lander tokens are end of turn, our ability to get something crazy. Let's see what they don't want us to have here. They know about the Cosmic Rebirth now, so they know we could get something back if they don't. Oh, they just take out the Vraska. Interesting. We'll droid the land and pass back. They get up to 3 mana. There's a Fable, so I'm going to normalize that. You did know about that counter, so I don't know why you played into it. We get another land here, so we'll pass back. Okay, there's a second Fable, so we'll let that resolve here because we don't have an answer to it. We'll go to the end step, use a Rakshas's bargain. Sorry. They take out our counterspell. Valky, and yeah, we do need Valky, and we'll take the counter here. We'll let the Supreme go to the graveyard because obviously we're not too worried about that. We just gotta make sure we take out this Ghost Vacuum before they get to 6 mana. They discard a land and pass back. There's a Blade of the Oni. Right, I'm gonna use the Tyrant Scorn here to kill the Shaman. They seem to be struggling for mana, so I don't want them to have treasures. It does feel like a waste, but in my defense, one of the things they could be holding is an Annex Room, and they may need 1 more mana to deploy it. So, slowing it down, as I said before, 9 times out of 10, a lot of stuff here comes down to card advantage. We could Cosmic Rebirth back for the Supreme, but I'm going to let that go because Valky is now our main plan here. We just got to get a ton of mana here. Alright, so, doing a mana check. We do not have enough to do both, so let's just plus. Now we get a land, which is perfect, so now we can Helix the Blade of the Oni when we have to. We can also use the Tibalt to get rid of this Ghost Vacuum before they get enough mana to pop it off. Because now they are 1 mana away here. They could have a Planeswalker removal spell, but we'll just see what they have. They just go for the Annex here. So we'll wait till they go to combat to use this Lightning Helix. Yep, there they go, so let's just kill that. They go down to 14, we draw another 1. I'm going to get rid of the Ghost Vacuum because if they draw a mana for it, we could be in trouble. Then I'm going to Helix the Reflections before they get a chance to activate it and deploy our own Blade of the Oni. Right, they're up to 6 mana. There's an Invoke Despair, which is fine, so they get 1 draw off it. End step. We will just Cosmic Rebirth the Valky. We choose not to take the action, put it back in our hand. Now we can Valky again. Keep a count on how many Tibalt emblems I get by the end of this, because it's ridiculous. Bring to Light is now in exile, which is perfect, because none of their hand disruption can get it. They go for a Duress here, so we'll just Rakshas's bargain. And we managed to hit 2 creatures, which this Duress can't hit, which is beautiful. It makes me really smile. Right, they activate the Ritual Chamber. Let's reload when Niv Mizzet. Reload! We get a Mortal Collapse, which is a good hard counter. We'll kill that demon, so they don't have anything to attack with. Plus Tibalt, up to 9. Play a land. We could normalize here. We could Unmoored Ego, but I think holding up the normalize is better. I want to fight over the potential of this Tibalt. Because if they have another Invoke Despair, we want to be able to answer that. And they have enough mana to do it now. But then we also have the Izzet Charm here, so we could actually... Alright, Fable, we're not going to fight over, and they concede. Yep, they see the Tibalt Ultimate is coming. We had double counter to protect it. Nice. This match was the Magic Gods being ironic. So, while preparing to look for what I'm going to add from the new Omen Path set, what my new sideboard tech is going to be, I looked at my sideboard and thought to myself, Phoenix is not a super prominent deck anymore, so maybe I should get rid of the Deafening Silences. I mean, you know. But then, I literally then, first game I play of the night, run into Phoenix. So, I'm going to deploy the Biotech Specialist here. We have drawn kind of the worst half of our deck against this, because they've just got creatures out the wazoo now. And there's a Steel Cutter into a Consider, which puts a creature on the board that we can't currently kill or counter. But we did find a Vanishing Verse, so we'll get rid of the Steel Cutter so they can't make any more tokens. They opt. So this Prowess Monk is still pretty dangerous. I'm looking at the cards in the graveyard. They do definitely have enough for a treasure cruise here. And that's definitely what they're doing. Talk about the interface. Does anyone else notice how the arena interface changed with other stuff? So I'm going to discard these two creatures here to try and draw. We draw. I wanted interaction. Because they're going to fly over our head here with Phoenixes. Pretty quickly. There's a Floodmore. And there's a Phoenix. So my hatred of Floodmore continues. I personally think it's too good of a spell. So standard counters here. And we bring in the Culling Ritual to deal with everything else. Honestly, I'm going to take out the Biotex here. Take out a Joshua and a Vraska's. And pass it back. I genuinely think that Bloomburrow was one of the worst sets that was pumped out in a while. Now I know it supported a lot of archetypes like cat food and a few other ones, but it basically made the, which I don't mind the cat food combo. I think one of the problems is if you look at what came out of the decks, there's a lot of lower level stuff that just messed things up. And I think Floodmore is a great example. I don't think a 1-mana blue spell should bounce every permanent known to man for a 1/1. I think it should have been an XX equal to the bounce mana, their mana value with the bounce permanent. Right, they have a double Elvish Talent, so we're just going to keep hitting with the Maelstrom Pulse here and buy time for this Bring to Light. This Sleight of Hand. Pass back. So we are going to go for the Bring to Light here for 5 color. And I'm going to get the Supreme here because 1 mana spell plus Deafening Silence is really hard for them to deal with. Like I said before, yeah, basically nothing in their deck. Scratch that, sorry. The Channel Land Odawara is the one permanent they have that can bounce and kill, well, not even kill, just bounce the Niv Mizzet Supreme. The other problem they have is that the other options they have for attack is that they could be using, it's either a Drake post sideboard, which I know a lot of the decks aren't running anymore, or something, getting rid of that seemed a bit premature. Although I do like a double No More Lies here to mess with anything they might want to cast. So if they go for like a Corey Steelcutter or something big like that, we could answer it. Oh, we get a Cornucopia, but I'm not going to cast it. I'm going to cast it on the next turn because I want to hold up No More Lies here. For this reason. Picklock Prankster, that's a great hit. Stops them putting 4 cards in their graveyard. They can loot here, which is a problem. There's another land. There's a Steel Cutter. So my choices now are either to go straight for a... I think our best bet is just go Ancient Cornucopia and hold up a No More Lies. There's another Steel Cutter. I'm going to let this go because of the Culling Ritual. I'm pretty sure they go for, yep, there's a bounce with the Brazen Borrower. They do make a lot of stuff though. We go up to 20. They get to loot. They swing in, put us down to 16. Now it's Culling Ritual time. They lose everything. We get 5 mana. I'll just use it to put Supreme into hand. Not Supreme, sorry. Yorion. We could have put in a Yorion there, but I don't want to put a creature on the board when they could have more scary stuff. They get back a Treasure Cruise. Right, they're going for a full equipped Treasure Cruise here. They are down 2 cutters, so the big threat now are the Phoenixes. They do have the Hall of the Storm Giants on the board, which is one of the other ways they could actually outpower us here. Particularly if our deck just draws us a bunch of stuff, so we'll just use Yorion here as a blocker. There's an Opt. They can cycle through their deck so quick without our sideboard cards, though, that this could just be bad for us. They got another treasure cruise, yep. They full tap out, keeping a graveyard. Interesting. There's a Deafening Silence. That's huge. So, play this tapped. First we'll use our Clarion here to gain more life. Play the Deafening Silence and then attack in. They have one spell here. One non-creature spell, sorry. There's an Arclight. They're going to hit us, but we can win this race because of the Lightning Axe. Okay. Oh yeah, they didn't have anything to do on the thing. So let's cycle. Let's cycle again. Let's play a land. Man, you are trying, game. You are really trying. Well, at least they're flooding out too. They fully tap out here for 10 damage. They play a sleight of hand. We find Supreme, which is perfect. So let's gain 5 life now. We have all our spells back. It has protection. I don't think they can bounce it. They're checking all their spells to see if they can target it, and they concede. That felt a little premature. I think they could have clawed that one back. Alright, blue-white control, well, Lotus Field control. This one is, well, speaks for itself. So I want to highlight this because this is a good variation of control if you have the wild cards and you want to get into Pioneer and you are a control player. The opponent instantly concedes here. Please do not concede this. Right, this was actually a point. I want to ask this. Is this actually a thing? Because I was running into people on this night that were potentially permanently throwing the first game and to get amazing draws in the second and third game. Like, I ran into a mono black player who didn't cast a spell for the entire first game, and then game 2 and 3 had 3 Fort Seizures in the opening 3 turns. Like, is this a thing with the Arena Shuffler where it really wants to make sure you have a good time, so it will, like, stack a deck to help you out? Like, I know it's a conspiracy theory, but it felt very real on this night. So for those who aren't aware, this is Lotus Field combo where they use discontinuity to counter the turn. I end the turn here because we were side decked wrong. We basically need all of our counter spells and effects like that in. So those of you unaware of this deck, Lotus Field requires you to sacrifice 2 lands when it enters, but it can tap for 3 mana. Now the big issue with that is you often play it with a bunch of effects like Thespian Stage and other things to mess with it like that. And yeah, Mistwild Village they brought in from their sideboard here, so we can counter this, which will force them to sack their lands. That's the Gotham we need to have here. But unfortunately we don't have black or red because our deck decided we're banned. So we're going to have to pay full 6 here for the thing. But they had another Thespian Stage, so they've now got the mana to get 6 mana early. But yeah, and there's a Mystical Dispute to prevent us from having that and still have enough to use that. But yeah, this one is just going to slip away from us, unfortunately. It is a very cool variation of the burn deck. We do get them, not burn, the control deck. We do get them close, unfortunately. There's another Lotus Field, like, I just, like, they haven't drawn any extra cards, and they've had double Lotus Field, double Thespian Stage, and it does feel like it just cannot do anything here. So I'm going to try and get triple down here, because, well, I don't know if we even have a play against this. We do find their Teferi, which just gives us a chance here. But one thing I was not aware of, and maybe it's an alteration to this deck in particular, is they are running so many bounce effects now. Like, the Moran Rigger Regent is just, yeah, putting the pressure on, to say the least. So we're just going to deploy our Biotech here, and another Biotech. Oh yeah, I forgot that the counter was that on. There's a Memory Deluge. We'll just kill the Strict Prospector while they're tapped out. There's another land, so they now have card selection. Play another Biotech Specialist here, because we're just going to push damage, because ironically, These biotechs, that's 8 damage on the field, which is half their life total. And so I just got to hope they can't gain a ton of life. Right, end step, we'll bop a lander token, do 4 damage. Get a basic out of the deck, get another lander token here. Put him down to 9, so we do put the edge on him here. Right, another land, we'll play it, go to combat, attack in, see if we can bait out anything. Settle the wreckage, it's fine. We'll get another land out of our deck. We'll use their Teferi here, see if we can prompt a counterspell or something. We can't, so we'll just draw a card. Draw another land. Yep. They scry 2. Make an uncounterable spell now. There's a Meringue Ritter Regent, which is going to be uncounterable and bounce their Teferi back to hand here. Vanishing Verse and Izzet Charms, fine. Yep. Well, let's Vanishing Verse the Regent, so they can't deal with it. Fortunately now though they have a Teferi, but we do have a counter if they deploy too early for it, so we can probably get our Tibalt down here. Plus the Tibalt again. We find their Farewell. Not the best, not the worst. They have another Thespian stage, so now they have a trillion mana if they want it. They don't even need to copy it, to be honest. They just need card selection. Basically, they can't let Tibalt ultimate. Alright, so we'll normalize the Teferi to force them to use 2 more mana here. Alright, then Teferi will come down. They'll minus to put Tibalt back in our deck. So we'll Lightning Helix the Teferi, so it's gone. They'll play another Teferi because, yep. Alright, Izzet Charm, draw 2, discard 2. Discard, discard. Replay Tibalt to get our 3rd Tibalt emblem. Plus him again. You might have noticed that we have not drawn a lot. Like, I mean, we have not drawn... We drew 1 Bring to Light, and we have not found anything else. Honestly, though, I am kind of happy about the inclusion of that dragon, because while it is frustrating and it is kicking my butt, I am just really happy that Control actually has something that can actually kick my butt now, and I don't have to play a 50-minute game praying that they actually use Teferi to win the game. It actually was very refreshing to not have to worry about it. But yes, honestly, Control is our worst matchup, honestly. There's not much more to say about this. It's going to slide away from us. We get close doing damage, but honestly, they just pretty much have it at this point. We'll Helix that. There, they have a veto, so we can't even use our veto to counter it. So now we can't kill their thing. And now they copied another land, and it's pretty much over, so I'm going to end the commentary here. There's another 3 or 4 minutes, but basically, every play we make, they just have a perfect play against it, because it's Control, and we've gone to the late game, where Control ultimately just has the game. Like, you have to if you get to super late game as a Control player and have this much mana and a Planeswalker active, you have to actively screw up. And I mean, like, you have to throw the game away to lose to a mid-range deck like this. So yeah, unfortunately, that is the sad truth of it. We did, luckily though, get an entire playset of Tibalt emblems, which was kind of cool. But sadly, yeah, it's over. So we'll just leave this here.